Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back for another slime video. Back in the EX Challenge quest, this time taking on the 4th stage against Khaosfrit, meant to use a light physical team. Again, kind of weird, because most of that team is magic focused, but hey, whatever. This is the light 1.0 team, and I finally get to use Soka. Finally. The missions are 9 turns or less 3 times, need to guard another 5 times, and 3 magic changing skills, which are just orb changes, so that's going to be fairly easy. What does Khaosfrit do, if anything? 249, very high attack, okay. Seals attack up, nerfs blues, binds, lowers guard rate, and then dark and crit damage, or crit rate, okay. Well, let's build the Light 1.0 team and we'll be back. Alright, the Light 1.0 team. A more defensive-focused team. Soka's giving... What is she doing, actually? Guard rate by 80% for 3 turns, lowers skill cost, and gives oranges extra alt gauge for 3 turns. We've got a Charm on for extra protection gauge on oranges, and then Hinata has an orb change to oranges. And the defense skill, free-to-play Mirren has an orb change and something else that I don't remember because I don't remember the last time I've actually used her. Crit damage down. Okay, sure. We're bringing the free-to-play Wielder of Magic Ranga because we don't have a lot of orange teams in general, so we're going to use him. He can at least convert his own orbs to orange, so we can kind of make that work. Light Leon is changing a single orb and then giving us the light buff. And then the skill-fused Shizu is actually better than the Protector, because now she just has, okay, I thought it was guaranteed. 80% chance to guard, but then lowers attack. And then she's got the heal. So very defensively focused team, which makes sense because he has high attack. Let's try it out. Okay, I mean, this can work. We'll bring in... Well, Shizu and Hinata technically are single targets. We don't have a lot of damage support going on for this team, but hey, it is what it is. We gotta do what we gotta do. Thankfully he does not have a lot of health. Sealed attack up. Not a huge deal because we are not an attack-focused team. But we do have enough points, so we have 2 blues and a green. So let's use the Leon and then the Hinata convert. That gives us a whole hand of oranges. So that's actually pretty nice. And then we have Soka. We have 1 alt. Almost 2. But we do have to guard 5 times. So whether or not you use Shizu for this, or you use Soka, or use a different protector, it doesn't really matter, as long as we can get guards active. So... we can... actually, we can bring Mirren in for this. So... yeah, let's lower his attack, actually, right now. And then give us an 80% chance to guard. And then we'll swap her out for Mirren. We'll change those 2. We'll put the defense on. And that's all the points we have to use. And then we'll use Soka to reset those skills we used. Oh my god, I haven't seen this animation in forever. This was the Valentine's Day of 2020, or February, Valentine's Day meta of 2022. And I love that we got Ahsoka. I didn't love how many summons I had to do to get her. And then like an idiot, I kept chasing. And that was not the right move. For lack of a better way to phrase that. 18,000, almost 19. Hinata will do slightly more, 22. Slightly being the keyword. Alright, but this means that we probably won't take any damage now. We've got lowered attack, we've got extra defense, we've got element resistance. Yeah, under 1,000, even for the free-to-play character, that is acceptable. Very, very acceptable. So... oranges don't give us a lot of points. So that's why we give guard for 3 turns, because we're not going to be able to use a whole lot of things a lot of the time. Let's just send these Mirren orbs and get them out of here. When's the last time? I think she throws her sword at him, right? Yeah, through the heart. Boop. well, maybe not throw, more like propels the sword. 10,000 damage. Holy crap, we're breaking records. Okay, we should have enough points to convert again. Yeah, well, yes, we do. Yeah, do this and do that. So convert, and we don't have enough to use Soka again. Let's bring Shizu in for Mirin. That way we are gonna have 2 single target alts here. 3. Well, 3 alts total, 2 single targets. But there's not much really to do with this team, except orb change and guard. I mean, he's almost dead to begin with. He'll 3,000 damage right there, even with the guard active. It's kind of hefty. All right, let's heal him back up. Let's put the defense on, just in case he survives all 3 of these alts. We'll reset everything. And yeah, we don't have enough points to use the Leon light buff. If we could, that probably would end up killing. But yeah, we'll have to see. Leon, 19,000 on a crit. Shizu, 14,200. I think he's dead. 22,400. Oh, can we do it? Does she got it? She does. Okay, light 1.0 team. What a magical thing. Thankfully, we do have a few other orange protectors that can make this stage a whole butt-ton easier. So let's use one of them. Okay, we're going to run some kind of hybrid green/orange team. We're going to use Light 2.0, Bride, Shion, Groom, Rimuru. They both have single orb changes for orange to green. And then we're going to bring Veldora for his personal orb change and the green buff. Dark Milim for the alt buff and her orb change. Dark Shion, because she gives everybody guaranteed pierce rate, which Bride Shion needs to activate for her pierce power. And then Towa is going to give us the oranges and the points necessary to use 2 55-point skills from Milim and Shion in the first place. So that's how I want this team to work. Whether or not that actually happens is a totally different case. Obviously, we are not guarding with this team, though. That's the only thing. Alright, since we have Rimuru and we have Octogram Lumi underneath Milim, we're actually going to get a lot of protection gauge for the first couple of turns. So we're going to bank on that and just send these blue orbs. And yeah, that'll give us Towa next turn. And okay, yep, that's a good hand right there. So we can convert this entire hand to oranges now. We'll get a lot of points for it. And yeah, that's all I really want to do here, right? I mean, well, I could do that. Or, because Shion gets extra pierce power every time he uses a skill, we could just do this instead. And convert and use 2 skills here. And that'll give us a little bit extra pierce power, and it'll get us closer to a double Towa, which means that we would actually have 180 points to use on a turn. If we have, capped out at 100 plus the actual 2 protection stacks. We still need the ult for her, which we can get here. Okay, that's fine. Oh, and there it is, because we get protection gauge on turn 3. So this will work out quite nicely. Let's use the... let's use this skill, let's use the pierce resistance down and the extra ult gauge on greens, even though we're not going to have any greens after this turn is over. And let's bring Veldora in, so we can use his green buff, I guess. I mean, there's no reason that we can't. And then this is evasion rate for 1 turn. I think poison's coming in now, so actually we can use that too. And just dodge the poison entirely. And that's just another skill. And this is the final turn that we would have to use. We're going to get 40 points from using Towa, plus the entire hand of oranges, plus an ult for, well, an EX ult essentially for Shion. Not that we can really use it, but either way, I think this fight is now over. Yeah, we'll actually have an ult for Milim as well. That should work out pretty nicely. So we'll have the ult buff, we'll have guaranteed pierce. Everyone's going to have a little bit of pierce power. Shion will have more than that. Alright, there's the AoE. Oh, is poison a different turn? Maybe. Okay, whatever. 40... Okay, yeah, we do have 60 points. Okay. So, Yeah, let's just do this. So Pierce and Pierce Power, and the attack and 58% Pierce Power. My Shion is skill fused, so her base starting Pierce Power is higher than what other players might have, so that's why I'm up to 58% already. Some people will only be up to like 30 something, which is fine. Well, we actually don't have a Millimult. I don't really think it matters. What do you do, Shion? 106k. Can you kill, though, with these buffs? 1, 2, yes, okay. Excellent. Excellent. Love to see that. 30,000, almost 31,000 damage on that 6th send. 200% orb. That was a lot easier. That was so much easier than using the Light 1.0 team. Oh my god. Alright, let's go to the free-to-play team now. Alright, the full free-to-play team, we will be using the Protector Ritas? I think it has an R. Ritas, yeah, sure. But she does give guaranteed guard with a 25% chance to super guard. So you can at least get that mission done. We have built a green-focused team around Veldora's magic, green buff, and technically Isis green buff. But Isis can change blues, Veldora can change his own, Shinshin can change 1 blue. We're going to use the free-to-play Summer Memories Ramris as our quote-unquote damaged character, because she is light and physical, and her orb change really doesn't matter. But then we have free-to-play Trya as our other orb changer to green. So we're going to have a lot of green gauge that are buffed, which means that we're going to be able to guard a lot. It's just that this team obviously is not orange focused. So unless you get really, really lucky, or just kind of take this team and make it something different, it's going to be difficult to get both of those missions done at the same time. Okay, let's start off with the fact that this team is going to take a long time. So we're going to speed it up a bit because I can't be asked. We don't really have any damage support. Light Shinsha does have a very small, like 15% light buff that will apply to both her and Ramaris, which, I mean, is cool and everything, but you gotta remember, these are free-to-play characters. They are not attack stat focused. They are either defense or, at bare minimum, balanced. So their stats don't look very great. We are not on a high damaging team. Obviously, you don't have to use Ritas if you have a different protector that will work very well. If you want to do a green-focused team, it works. But if you do want to get the mission done, and you don't have, who gives guard, the Golem, or the OG Water Millim, or the Light Soka, like, this is going to be your next best option. Because she does give guaranteed guard. Like, the other protectors, they don't give guarantees, I don't think. They give very high chances to, but not guaranteed, and certainly nothing about super guard either. So while we don't take a lot of damage, we're going to be in here for a while, and that means that your units, if they're not geared up and they're not level 120s, they're gonna suffer a little bit. So it's something. All right, I'm sitting here for a while. I don't know what I was doing, but it can do it. You know, green focused orbs. The problem with this team is that it gets very expensive very quickly, which is a problem that most teams have that don't have skill resets put into their kits. And this is why blue stacking teams, they have so much extra skill points that you can use skills over and over again. And the same with the current Protectors of Peace team is green focused, has skill resets, because you got to use a lot of skills on that team. You got to use orb changes, you got to use the multi-hit, you got to use buffs, you got to use the green buff to get more skill points in general. Like, these are a lot of things that you need to worry about that you're just not getting traditionally. So this team having no skill cap increase, no skill reset, and it's basically just at some point you have to live with whatever hand you get, which is what we're going to end up doing for a while. It just makes things a bit painful. So I don't envy this stage that has to use this style of free-to-play team. Hopefully you don't have to do that. But if you do, here's an example. It's not the only example by any means, but it is an example. And we are on turn 6. We are just now at the 50% HP threshold, and that hurt. However, he no longer has his Dark and his crit buff, so we are kind of safe for a little bit. We're going to take Veldora out. He's not going to see much play for the rest of the fight. I just don't want him up front any longer than he has to be. I don't want anyone to die. We are not going to hit that turn 9 mission either. Obviously, I think we go to like turn 12 or 13 or something like that. but you're banking on getting good RNG with natural green orbs, so you only have to use one skill or one orb change in the fight. Which, I mean, technically the stage, one of the missions wants you to use 3 magic changing skills. We have certainly done that for the past 8 turns. But here, it's like, okay, we have 2 oranges. We don't have a dedicated orange orb changer. If you had brought, Sufia or Aaron, you would, but I didn't. Oh well. I decided to bring an extra light unit for a little bit extra damage. Is that really helping us, though? Debatable. We do have 100 points here, so we can use the Tria-Convert and the single orb change for Shinsha, so that keeps things accessible. We don't have the green buff on anymore, though, which is a problem, because now we're not going to get a lot of protection gauge off these greens, which means that we're not going to be able to guard. Okay, well, we get quite a bit of protection gauge, but it's not enough, is the key word. Enough. So, down to a low HP threshold. Shinsha is looking a little bit low. We do get protection gauge because of traits, but assuming you don't have really good turn 2 or turn 3 protection traits, you're not going to have that available to you. So here, we're just going to send all these orbs, get the ults out of the way, burn these oranges out. And he's finally into red HP on turn 10. Okay, we got a good hand here. Shinsha is, again, looking a bit low, but we can orb change, and we can light buff once we bring Romulus back up front. And now we have 2 units that are going to get the 15% light buff. Unfortunately, we get a little cucked here, because he guards my 200% orb. I'm not entirely sure it would have killed him anyways, but it might have. It might have. Shinsha's all now almost dead, but we have 2 ults. He has a nut tap of health. We have enough points to use a light buff again. So we'll send this, and Shinsha lands the finishing blow. So there's the full free-to-play team. It's kind of painful to use, yeah. Hopefully you don't have to resort to this, but if you do, I'm sorry. Good luck. If you have other teams that can clear this, I know there's a lot of them that can that I didn't use today. Please put them in the comments so other people can see it. But otherwise, that's it from me. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.